Kane Review, print speaking to the blind, celebrating 40 years of audio newspaper production. Welcome to this week's edition of the Kirkintilloch Herald podcast, recorded at the Bishopbriggs Media Centre by our amazing volunteers. You can get in touch with us via Facebook, Twitter or Instagram using @CueNReview. That is @CueAndReview. You can also contact us directly by emailing information@cuenreview.com. That is INFORMATION @CueAndReview.com, or by calling 0141 772 3976. That's 0141 772 3976.
This week's podcast, Wednesday the 9th of October 2024, is read to you by volunteers Alan, Gordon, Hunter, Ian, Jehan, Nikki, and Philip. Thanks for listening. Counting the cost of peak rail fares. Report by Kevin McRoberts. The SNP's reintroduction of peak rail fares will cost workers and families in East Bartonshire a fortune. That's the verdict of Ross Greer, the Green MSP for the West of Scotland. The Scottish Government has refused to extend the year-long pilot scheme that removed peak rail fares, saving regular commuters hundreds of pounds. The scheme was secured during the Scottish Greens' time in government. For workers travelling from Wednesday to Glasgow, at peak times fares have risen from £4.50 to £6.80, a hike of 51%. Fares to Edinburgh from Wednesday have risen by 90%. Mr Greer said, "The return of peak rail fares will cost workers and families in Eastern Bartonshire a fortune at a time when a lot of people are really struggling. Ending peak fares was a long campaign for by rail unions, so I was proud when the Scottish Greens delivered it last year. I know many local commuters will be angry to see the SNP bring them back like this, especially when other saving options were available. For example, £250 million is spent every year on a tax break scheme for businesses, despite the government's own review finding no evidence that it was working. That is more than 5 times what was required to remove peak fares for another year. Some people in Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs will have saved hundreds of pounds thanks to the Greens since last October. Those reduced fares encourage many to leave their cars at home, helping tackle the climate crisis and local air pollution. Transport is the biggest source of carbon emissions in Scotland. There is no way for us to tackle the climate emergency without improving public transport and reducing the number of cars on our roads. Bringing back peak fares will only take us backwards." Mr Green added, "Changing the way we travel doesn't happen overnight, and by permanently making rail travel cheaper, we could have encouraged more people onto the trains. The Scottish Greens removed peak fares to help families with the cost of living, reduce emissions and improve air quality. I urge the Scottish Government to reconsider this decision and to make cheaper fares a permanent feature of our rail network." Trade unions and environmental groups have also criticised the reintroduction of peak fares. Mick Lynch, General Secretary of the RMT, the Rail Workers Union, described it as a step backwards. He said, "This trial was proven to increase rail usage and shift journeys away from cars, directly supporting Scotland's climate goals. At a time when we need bold action on public transport, the government has chosen to push commuters back into cars and make rail travel unaffordable for many. We urge them to reverse this short-sighted decision." Imogen Dow, of Friends of the Earth Scotland, said, "Making sure our public transport is affordable, accessible and reliable is essential to addressing climate change, as well as tackling toxic air pollution from traffic." And that report was written by Kevin McRoberts and read by me, Ian McKenna. This week in history. October 10, 1957. A major radiation leak was detected at Windscale Nuclear Plant in Cumbria after an accident 3 days earlier. On this day last year, Scientists revealed they had used gene editing techniques to identify and change parts of chicken DNA that could limit the spread of the devastating bird flu virus. October 11th, 1958. The BBC TV sports programme Grandstand was first transmitted. On this day last year, many female frogs appeared to fake death and play dead in order to avoid unwanted advances, a study suggested. October 12, 1984. 5 people died and 34 were injured in an IRA bomb attack on the Grand Hotel in Brighton, where the Conservative Party conference was being held. On this day last year, more than 40% of Antarctica's ice shelves had shrunk, with almost half showing no sign of recovery, scientists reported. October 13, 1984. John Lowe achieved the first televised 501 score in 9 darts in a major event in the quarter-finals of the World Match Play Championship in Slough. On this day last year, the Prince of Wales was given an iconic Blue Peter badge for launching a prize that finds out environmental solutions to repair the planet. And that was This Week in History.
Red light for traffic signals at Town Centre Junction as recorded by Hunter MacDonald. East Bartshire Council has officially scrapped its plans to bring back traffic lights at the Catherine Street Junction in Kirkintilloch Town Centre due to escalating costs. More than 2 years have passed since officials were initially instructed to hire consultants on the project, but costs have continually increased, reaching £1.4 million in August, when councillors voted to instead review the situation to see if there was any way to reduce the financial burden. It was also noted that the council would have to borrow to fund the project, further inflating the cost, while traffic studies undertaken in the area failed to present evidence showing there was adequate need for the signals to be brought back. At a council meeting last week, where the latest report was discussed, Council Leader Gordon Lowe said, "The cost of this project has increased considerably since we first put this forward. Regrettably, we don't consider that it is now financially sustainable to continue." He added that in response to concerns from the community, reviews would be undertaken to identify potential alternative improvements to the junction. During the meeting, Conservative Councillor Billy Henry welcomed the decision to cease work on this project, but added that it was an embarrassment to Councillor Lowe and his SNP administration that he had failed to get a set of traffic lights up and running. Further warnings as scammers pretend to be police officers. People in East Bartonshire are again being urged to beware of financial scams where criminals are impersonating police officers. Already, a number of people throughout the region have fallen victim to scammers and have lost 4- and 5-figure sums of cash. The scams see people receive a call from someone claiming to be a police officer, alerting them to fraudulent activity on their account. In the phone call, personal questions are asked for security reasons. In some cases, the victim is instructed to visit their bank to withdraw money to pass on to a third person. Detective Inspector Johnny McKinnon said, "These criminals can be very convincing, and we would urge people to be on their guard. Police officers will never phone members of the public to alert them to fraudulent activity on their account or ask you to transfer or withdraw money. If you receive a call from someone claiming to be from your bank or financial institution and you're in any doubt at all, hang up and contact the bank using the phone number on the back of your card or official paperwork. If the caller is genuine, they will understand your hesitation. Never feel pressured into handing over details or withdrawing money." We would encourage people to share this information with any elderly relatives or neighbours to ensure they are aware of these scams. Anyone who thinks they may have fallen victim to this scam is asked to call the police on 101.
Have a say on energy efficiency. Report by Kevin McRoberts. The council is calling on local residents, businesses and organisations living or operating in Eastern Bartonshire to have their say on a strategic approach to decarbonising heat and improving energy efficiency in buildings throughout the area. A consultation has been launched on the local authority's proposed local heat and energy efficiency strategy and delivery plan, which aims to support Scotland's statutory targets for fuel poverty reduction and reaching net zero emissions. The Local Heat and Energy Efficiency Strategy, LHEES, covers both domestic and non-domestic properties and is required to set out the changes required in the building stock to meet national objectives, such as tackling fuel poverty and achieving net zero greenhouse gas emissions, identify heat decarbonisation zones, how to reduce building emissions in each zone and potential heat network zones, prioritise areas within Eastern Bartonshire to meet local and national priorities. The LHEES consultation runs until Tuesday, October the 29th, and participants are being asked to read the proposals, then complete a short online survey, which you can find at www.eastonbarton.gov.uk/LHEES-survey. So that's a short online survey at www.eastonbarton.gov.uk/LHEES-survey. There is also an opportunity to have your say at an online consultation event on Wednesday, October the 23rd, 2 to 4 p.m. Anyone who would like to attend this event should register their interest on the consultation webpage at www.eastonbarton.gov.uk/LHEES, where full information is also available. Councillor Gordon Lowe, leader of the council, said, "We are encouraging everyone who lives or operates in a business in Eastern Bartonshire to take part in the LHEES consultation. We are also very keen to hear from landlords and housing associations. It's important this strategy is achievable and meets our local priorities as well as those set out at the national level, so please take some time to read the proposals and complete the survey or register to attend our online event, where you can ask questions and share your thoughts with council officers." And that report was by Kevin McRoberts.
Free Irn-Bru Carnival tickets. This article is unattributed. The Irn-Bru Carnival is offering free tickets to charity and community groups across Glasgow. There are 1,000 tickets up for grabs for local organisations to enjoy the carnival on opening day on December 20th. The lucky winners will be among the first to enjoy the 65 plus rides and attractions at this year's Irn-Bru Carnival, including the waltzers, dodgems and the soft play. For a chance to win the tickets, charities and not-for-profit group representatives or beneficiaries should submit 150 words telling the carnival team why their nominated organisation should be one of the lucky groups to receive the tickets. Entries should be sent to info@qdevents.co.uk by October 20th. Applications should include information on the work of the community group, who the tickets will be used by, where the group is located and where they operate, a link to any social media, a Scottish charity number if applicable, and the role the applicant holds within the group, as well as their contact details. Margaret Cowan, Group Operations Manager for QD Events, organisers of the Irn-Bru Carnival, said, "We want to ensure we are giving back to the communities who continue to support the event year after year. We're looking forward to hearing from groups of all shapes and sizes and to meeting some of them on Carnival launch day. Tickets for the Carnival are now on sale. See www.irnbru-carnival.com. That article was unattributed and it was read by Jahan.
Design a card for Christmas. West of Scotland MSP Pam Gossel has launched her 4th annual Christmas card competition for primary school pupils since being elected in 2021. She has sent out invitations to schools in the region asking the pupils to submit their designs by Friday, November the 1st. Entries should be submitted on an A4 page with the school's name, pupil's name, age and class printed on the back and sent to Pam's local office in Bearsden or emailed to pam.gosal.msp@parliament.scot. There will be one main winner whose design will feature on the front of the card and who will receive a prize personally from Pam. There will also be 2 runners-up whose designs will be featured on the back of the card. Once finalised, the card will be sent to a number of local residents and businesses, as well as to King Charles, Queen Camilla, Prince William, Princess Kate, and other royals, MSPs, MPs, and officials. Pam said, "I am delighted to launch my 4th annual Christmas card competition. It is hard to believe it is fast approaching that time of year, but I know pupils will be excited to get creative and send in their entries. Over the last 3 years, my office and I have received so many fantastic designs, and choosing an overall winner has always been an extremely difficult decision." We look forward to seeing the entries from pupils across west of Scotland this year. Virtually reducing medical no-shows, a report by Kevin McRoberts. Virtual consultations could cut the proportion of people who don't turn up for medical appointments, new figures have suggested. Analysis by NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde found patients were less likely to miss their virtual appointment when compared to those that were face-to-face. During June 2024, 9.6% of in-person appointments were not attended, while only 7.8% of virtual appointments were missed. Every missed in-person appointment is estimated to cost the NHS in the region of £120. NHS GGC is highlighting the benefits of video and telephone consultations as it looks to increase their use where clinically appropriate. Dr. Scott Davidson, NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde's Deputy Medical Director for Acute Services, said, "Virtual consultations can be beneficial to many patients as they reduce the need for people to travel to and from hospitals. They offer a great deal of flexibility and save people time and money, with patients less likely to have to take time away from work, education, or other responsibilities. This new analysis suggests virtual appointments could cut down on the number of missed appointments, ensuring patients are getting the specialist advice and care they need. We would encourage patients to explore the option of virtual consultation with their clinician. They may not always be suitable, and face-to-face consultations will always be offered to those who need them. Virtual consultations can be particularly helpful to those who are managing long-term conditions and may require regular check-ins with their clinicians and in situations where physical examination or procedure is not required. NHS GGC uses the Near Me video platform to conduct video appointments, which is secure and easy to connect with any device that can make video calls. Patients can explore the option of having virtual consultations with their healthcare professional. Face-to-face appointments will always be offered to those who need them for reasons such as the requirement for a physical examination or when complex information must be shared. That was a report by Kevin McRoberts, read by me, Nikki.
Visitor levy. Scottish Greens MSP Ross Greer has raised the possibility of Eastern Bartonshire Council joining Glasgow in introducing a visitor levy during the Commonwealth Games. In May this year, the Scottish Parliament passed legislation to allow councils to charge a small overnight fee for visitors. This would function along the same lines as schemes already in place in many European and international tourist destinations. Glasgow is looking at bringing in a levy in time for the 2026 Commonwealth Games, and Mr Greer said, "There is an opportunity here for councils like Eastern Bartonshire to take advantage of the huge number of additional guests for the Games with a one-off levy. I'd urge the council to engage with the Scottish Government now on the changes which would be needed for them to do so."
Trainee to Boss in Just 7 Years by Kevin McRoberts. A Lenzie resident has progressed from trainee to store director in just 7 years. Ryan Turner joined Specsavers Kirkintilloch in 2017, looking for a new challenge at the age of 25. He began as a trainee optical assistant and, within 2 years, completed 2 BTEC qualifications through the support of the Kirkintilloch store. With a keen interest in furthering his career, Ryan considered studying for a business management diploma. However, with guidance from Neil Drain, optometrist director of Specsavers Kirkintilloch, he shifted his focus towards becoming a dispensing optician. His qualifications allowed him to enrol directly into the second year of the diploma course at the Association of British Opticians College, in conjunction with Canterbury Christchurch University, where he qualified as a dispensing optician in 2021. In that time, Ryan climbed from optical assistant to store manager. He didn't settle in that role for long before taking on Specsavers' internal pathway programme, which eventually allows staff to become partners that own their own store. After completing the process in April 2024, an opportunity arose for Ryan to step into a leadership role as store director in Oban. He will be co-director of the Oban store alongside Fiona Cannon. Reflecting on his time at Specsavers Kirkintilloch, Ryan said, "The support I've received from Neil and the team has been invaluable. They've backed me every step of the way, and I've built lasting friendships with my colleagues." Despite his strong ties to Kirkintilloch, Ryan decided to take the next step in his career. He added, "I never thought I'd move from the Glasgow area, but the opportunity to become a store director in Oban was too good to pass up." Neil Drain, director of Specsavers Kirkintilloch, added, "Ryan's journey has been nothing short of impressive, and while it took me a whole week to accept him moving store, we're incredibly proud of his achievements. I've always wanted the store committed to helping staff grow, and Ryan's success is a perfect example of the opportunities available." Ryan added, "Making the jump to Specsavers set this all in motion. To anyone out there considering a similar career move, I'd say go for it. The reward is worth the risk." That article was written by Kevin McRoberts and it was read by Jahan.
Beatson Cancer Charity. Juno is voted Ambassador. Written by Kevin McRoberts. Beatson Cancer Charity is excited to introduce Juno for 2024. Chosen through a public vote, Juno's heartwarming story of support and companionship during her owner's cancer journey touched many in the Beatson community. Juno will now represent the charity throughout the year, spreading joy and hope at key events like Off the Beatson Track 2024. Juno has been an incredible source of comfort for her owner, Nicole Lowther of Milton of Campsie, who has been undergoing treatment for Hodgkin's lymphoma. Diagnosed in 2018 with stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma, Nicole went into remission for nearly 5 years before relapsing in November 2023 with stage 4. Throughout her treatment, Juno has been by her side, encouraging her to stay active both physically and mentally. Nicole said, "Juno has made my stem cell recovery so much easier for me and my family. We got her a few months after my transplant and she's been my constant companion with my partner, family and friends are at work. She motivates me to go outside and exercise by taking her on walks, which has hugely benefited my mental and physical health. The Ambassador competition saw a number of touching entries, and Juno's infectious energy and loving nature made her a standout finalist. Nicole had originally entered Juno into the competition after attending Off the Beatson Track 2024, where Juno was dressed as Beatson's mascot Bella, a bee, in a nod to her cheerful and uplifting personality. In her new role as Ambassador, Juno will help raise awareness for Beatson Cancer Charity, taking part in events, photo shoots, and becoming the face of the charity's campaigns. Nicole added, "We applied for Ambassador after being at Off the Beatson Track, where we dressed Juno as Bella the Bee. It felt like the perfect opportunity to show just how much Juno has transformed my recovery. She brings so much happiness to everyone she meets, and I hope she can now spread that joy to others through the role. Juno deserves this so much. She's been my rock through it all." Nicole also expressed her gratitude for Beatson Cancer Charity, highlighting the immense support she has received throughout her treatment. The Beatson Cancer Charity has helped me more than I could have ever imagined, from the Wellbeing Centre and the hot chocolates to the outstanding care at my bedside. I'll never be able to thank them enough. The charity makes the journey a little easier for so many of us, and I'll be an advocate for the rest of my life. A charity spokesman said, "We are thrilled to announce Juno as our new ambassador. Nicole's heartfelt story about her journey with Juno truly highlights the bond they share, making Juno the perfect representative for our charity. Dog owners can support the charity by purchasing dog accessories made using Beatser Cancer Charity tartan from the online shop." Working together. Beatson Cancer Charity believes that no one should face cancer on their own. More than 14,000 patients have received therapies at the Wellbeing Centre Beatson Cancer Charity, which works in close partnership with the Beatson West of Scotland Cancer Centre and the Beatson Institute for Cancer Research, to help deliver life-saving research. The Beatson is an internationally renowned cancer centre, seeing more than 8,000 new patients each year and delivering more than 25,000 courses of chemotherapy and 6,500 courses of radiotherapy. Find out more about Beatson Cancer Charity at the Beatson Cancer Charity website. Written by Kevin McRoberts and read by Alan Todd.
Awareness Month. Get abreast of any changes. A report by Julie Curry. Breast cancer is the most common cancer in Scottish women, with 1 in 9 developing the disease. Women are 5 times more likely to survive if it is caught at the earliest stage. That's why an appeal has been issued for women across Scotland to be breast aware this October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Charity Breast Cancer Now has issued the appeal as new research has revealed that 44% of women across the UK don't check their breasts regularly for possible signs and symptoms. With 1 in 10 women reporting to have never checked their breasts and 13% only checking once a year or less, the charity is asking women to get to know their normal. Regular breast checking will enable women to familiarise themselves with the signs and symptoms of the disease, helping them spot any new or unusual breast changes so they can get them checked out by a GP. According to the YouGov findings of the women who do check their breasts regularly, almost a third, 31%, don't feel confident that they would notice any change. And only 52% said that they would inform their GP in the first instance if they noticed a change. This is a cause for deep concern given that earlier breast cancer is diagnosed, the better the chance of successful treatment and lives potentially being saved. Manveet Basra, Breast Cancer Now Associate Director of Public Health, said, "It's deeply concerning that more than 2 in 5 women in the UK aren't regularly checking their breasts, and only 52% are reporting a possible sign or symptom to a GP. It's clear more needs to be done to educate and support women to know they're normal, and Breast Cancer Awareness Month presents a vital moment to spread these important breast health awareness messages. We want every woman to know the importance of regular breast checking and the many different signs and symptoms of breast cancer. We want them to feel empowered to regularly check their breasts and get any new or unusual breast changes checked by a GP, along with attending NHS breast screening when invited. With the most notable barrier to women regularly breast checking being that they forget, we're reminding women to get it back on their agenda. It only takes a few minutes, and there's no right way as long as you're doing it regularly. It's important to check your whole breast area, your armpits and up to your collarbone for changes. It's as simple as TLC. Touch, look, check. Breast cancer signs and symptoms include a lump or swelling in the breast, upper chest or armpit, a change to the skin such as puckering or dimpling, a change in the colour of the breast, a nipple change, for example, it has become inverted, a rash or crusting around the nipple, unusual discharge from either nipple, and changes in the size or shape of the breast. Pain in your breasts is not usually a sign of breast cancer, but look out for pain in your breast or armpit that's there all or almost all of the time. Although it is rare, men can also get breast cancer, and the most common symptom is a lump in the chest area. Visit breastcancernow.org/checking for more information on the signs and symptoms. Breast Cancer Now's Wear It Pink Day is one of the biggest fundraising events in the UK. Taking place annually on October 18, it encourages people to wear pink to raise money for breast cancer research. If you'd like to sign up, visit https://breastcancer-now.org/wear/it/pink. If you're worried about breast cancer or have a question about breast health, call Breast Cancer Now's free helpline on 0808 800 6000 or visit https://forum.breastcancernow.org. That report was by Julie Curry. Regular screening. In Scotland, the NHS offers routine breast screening to women aged 50 to 70. Those who are eligible are invited every 3 years, and the process typically takes around 10 minutes. Breast screening doesn't prevent cancer, but it helps to detect cancers at an early stage. Appointments are always carried out by a female mammographer. Screening tests for breast cancers that are too small to see or feel and prevents around 1,300 deaths in the UK each year. It is important to check your body regularly to help spot any changes. If you notice any changes, you should make an appointment with your GP. For more information on signs and symptoms, visit https://getchecked-early.org/breast-cancer. And for details on screening, visit nhsinform.scot/breast-screening.
Family announcements. Deaths. McLucky, James, Jim. Father to sons Kevin and Keith. Father-in-law to Rachel and Neela. Grandpa to Amelia and Jaden. Born April 13th, 1938, and passed quietly at home on September the 23rd, 2024, will be sadly missed, but now finally reunited with May, the true love of his life, forever in our hearts. Moffat, Brenda, Auchinloch. Peacefully at Lilybourne Care Home on Monday the 30th of September 2024, Brenda, beloved wife of the late Walter, a loving mother, grandmother and great-grandmother. Funeral service to take place at Lensdale Parish Church on Thursday, October the 24th at 11 a.m, thereafter to Bedley Cemetery. And that was the family announcements on Wednesday the 9th of October.
Clear Consensus on Mental Health by Julie Curry. New figures from Scotland's census show the number of people who reported having a mental health condition more than doubled between 2011 and 2022. In 2022, 617,100 people reported in the census that they had a mental health condition. The census form described this as a condition that affects your emotional, physical and mental well-being. The increase from 4.4% to 11.3% of the population was the biggest change across the range of categories listed in the question on health conditions. A large increase in the number of younger people reporting mental health conditions is behind the increase. John Roth-Smith, Census Statistics Director, said, in 2022, 15.4% of people aged 16 to 24 reported having a mental health condition, up from 2.5% in 2011. Females in this age group were twice as likely to report having a mental health condition at 20.4% compared to males at 10.5%. There were also increases in older age groups, but the biggest increases were seen in younger groups, and it is now more common for younger people to report a mental health condition. This is the reverse of what we saw in 2011. Under the broad category of long-term illness, disease or condition, including conditions such as arthritis, diabetes, cancer and epilepsy, there was an increase from 18.7% in 2011 to 21.4% in 2022. After accounting for age, 6.8% of the population said they were in bad or very bad health in 2022. This is up from 5.9% in 2011. The census recorded 627,700 people providing unpaid care, a 27.5% increase on 2011. Most unpaid carers are aged 50 or over, and 58.8% are female. More than half of unpaid carers, 55.9%, spent 1 to 19 hours per week providing support. Another 24.3% spent 50 or more hours per week. There was a 15.7% increase in the number of people with a health problem or disability that limited their day-to-day activities a lot, up 79,600. There was a 35.7% increase in the number whose day-to-day activities were limited a little, up 190,900. This was driven by Scotland's ageing population, with children of the baby booms of previous decades now in older age. The percentage of people aged 75 or older who have a health problem that limits their day-to-day activities actually decreased over the decade, from 67.1% to 62.5%. But the overall increase in older people meant there was an increase in those with an activity-limiting health problem. But the overall increase in older people meant there was an increase in those with an activity-limiting health problem. Younger age groups also saw increases in those with a health problem that limited their day-to-day activities. However, more of them said their activities were limited a little rather than a lot. And that article was by Julie Curry.
Is your dog a hero? Nominations are now open for the Kennel Club Hero Dog Award. Presented at Crufts 2025 and supported by the Kennel Club Charitable Trust, the award celebrates extraordinary unsung canine heroes and their impact on our lives. Nominations for dogs who deserve to be recognised for the difference they make can be submitted at crufts.org.uk/Hero Dog Award, with categories spanning from rescue and working dogs to simply best friends. From the nominations, 5 heroic finalists, each of whom are awarded donations for their canine charity of choice, will head to Crufts next year with a public vote deciding the winner. The winner will be revealed at Crufts on Sunday, March the 9th, and will receive £5,000 from the Kennel Club Charitable Trust for a dog charity of their choice. Runners-up will receive £1,000 for their dog charity.
Opinion. 9th of October. Let's talk. This week's Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald letters page. Please send your letters via email to kirkyherald@jnscotland.co.uk. That's KIRKYHERALD @JNSCOTLAND.co.uk and write letters in the subject field. Please keep letters to a maximum of 300 words. Letters cannot be published without a name and postal address. Also include a daytime phone number if possible. We reserve the right to edit any letter. Be seen in the dark. Sir, in a couple of weeks from now, we will see the end of British Summertime 2024. Alas, there is often a spate of road traffic accidents following the clocks going back 1 hour. I myself have had a few near misses at this time of year. It goes without saying that we're all entitled to use the public highways and footpaths. However, I would appeal especially to joggers, cyclists and dog walkers. In the interest of everyone's safety, and our canine friends, of course, do please try to don some reflective or at least brightly coloured clothing if you're out and about in dark, misty or other conditions of poor visibility. Give the motorist a fighting chance of seeing you. Many thanks. Yours, etc., Patrick Mackay, by email. Impact on animals. Sir, at next month's UN Climate Change Conference, COP29, world leaders will assemble to discuss how to tackle the climate crisis. At SPANA, Society for the Protection of Animals Abroad, our goal is for the world of working animals to thrive and grow sustainably as part of the nexus between animals, people and the environment. People have historically exploited animals and the environment while failing to appreciate the critical interdependency between them. In the past year, countries where SPANA works, including Iraq, Kenya, Mali, Namibia, Tanzania, Tunisia and Zimbabwe, have experienced devastating climate-related events such as severe flooding, landslides and droughts. It's clear that the climate crisis is having a catastrophic impact across the world and making life more difficult than ever for working animals and their owners. Extreme events are increasing in frequency, intensity and scale. That's why SPANA ensures that those at risk are prepared and that we are ready to act when needed. We provide on-the-ground support, emergency feed and life-saving veterinary treatment to working animals in need. The threat posed by climate change to working animal welfare is only going to grow if we don't act now. With over 200 million working animals worldwide, SPANA's work is essential to protecting these vital animals, the trucks, tractors and taxis of rural communities. SPANA is calling on world leaders to consider the protection and care of working animals in their COP29 discussions. Please find out how you can show your support for working animals affected by the climate crisis by visiting www.spana.org. Yours, etc., Linda Edwards, Chief Executive, SPANA. Soft touch doesn't work. Sir, 57 of the 477 criminals freed by the Scottish Government to tackle overcrowding in prisons have been sent back for reoffending. Why is no one surprised? What is needed in future for the Scottish Government to tell the judiciary to impose meaningful jail sentences that will deter even the most hardened criminal? It should be well publicised that the normal jail sentence would be tripled and that there would no longer be remission. That would make criminals think. Unfortunately, the Scottish Government is all talk and no action. A Scottish Prison Service spokesman waffled on about the time available to do the important work in supporting people, building relationships, turning lives around, reducing the risk of reoffending and creating a safer Scotland for all. He needs to be told his warm, soothing words are not working. Yours, etc., Clark Cross, by email. Interesting times ahead. Sir, assuming the Labour government recovers from its shambolic 3-month honeymoon with a competent, reassuring budget in a few weeks' time and gets real about immigration, energy policy and public services reform, the case for Scottish independence is dead for a generation and all parties can and should settle down to debates, serious debate and policy formulation on how to get the UK back to a common sense, woke-free approach to running the country. This seems to be the very welcome attitude that the new Scottish Tories leader Russell Finlay has projected since his appointment, and if Labour repeat their rout of the SNP in 2026, the Conservatives, Lib Dems and Reform may well wipe out the SNP in the 48 Highland, North East and South regions where Labour are not strong. However, if Labour continue their underwhelming reign and the SNP vote recovers with an overall majority, Labour's seemingly greater hatred of the Tories than the SNP could sucker them into some kind of support for a minority SNP administration. Yours, etc., Alan Sutherland, by email. And that was this week's letters page. Experts warning to Scotland's dog owners over toxic conkers, by Hayley O'Keefe. A leading canine first aid expert has called for dog owners in Scotland to be conker aware after treating pets who have ingested the surprisingly poisonous item. Many people like to collect conkers, especially children, and conkers are said to deter spiders if placed in a corner of the room. But conkers, which fall from horse chestnut trees, contain a toxin which, if eaten by a dog, can cause them to vomit, have diarrhoea or even collapse. Qualified veterinary nurse Rachel Bean, who wrote the iPet Network's qualification in canine first aid, said, "Conkers seem to be a celebrated part of autumn starting, but every year my practice sees pets who have ingested conkers and devastated owners who simply didn't realise that escalin, which is found in the tree fruit, is toxic to dogs. If you suspect that the dog you are caring for may have eaten something poisonous, contact your vet straight away as they could die. Vomiting is the most common effect after ingestion of conkers, and other potential signs include abdominal discomfort, diarrhoea, lethargy. Again, gastrointestinal obstruction is a potential risk. It's important to be aware in your walks out of the house too, as they can present like a ball to playful pups, which can lead to them chewing and ingesting them. People also think that conkers deter spiders, so place them at ground level in their homes, and they then run risk of becoming a risky plaything for your pet. The safest thing to do is to keep conkers out of your house entirely, and always make sure to keep your dog on a lead when walking near shedding horse chestnut trees. Rachel travels around the UK giving canine first aid demonstrations, and is an ambassador for the National Safe Pets and People campaign, which is calling for mandatory first aid qualifications for all pet professionals. She added, "Everyone wants the best for their pets, and many people simply don't know what hazards are truly out there. Hopefully this year the dangers of conkers to dogs will be as widely known as chocolate is at Christmas and Easter." To find out more about Rachel Bean, go to www.rachelbean.co.uk.
Builders deliver site safety lesson. A report by Kevin McRoberts. Christon primary school children have been learning about the home building industry and the dangers of playing in and around construction sites. Colin McCartney, site manager at Cala Homes West, visited the school pupils to discuss how Cala keeps its nearby Earls Rise development safe, and shared a video specially created by Cala to help highlight some of the hidden dangers that can be found in building sites. 2 Primary 3 classes enjoyed the interactive sessions, which covered the history of building homes as well as showcasing the range of varied career opportunities within the construction industry. But there was also a stark warning for the youngsters about the dangers of going into construction areas unsupervised. Cala's Stay Safe, Stay Away video provides a range of curriculum-based activities, including designing a site safety poster and writing a news article. The initiative is a core part of Cala Homes West's community pledge, showcasing the house builder's commitment to bring meaningful investment to its local communities. Colin explained, "The Stay Safe, Stay Away programme has been designed to spread the message to children that construction sites are not somewhere to play around. As responsible home builders, we have created a programme that lets children and young people know that the message is serious, but it is presented in a way that is easier for them to digest. Another aim of this initiative is to bring to life at grassroots level how new homes are developed and the important role that house builders play in creating sustainable new communities." It was great to see the children engaged with the presentation. Cala Homes West has been involved in developing a number of sites in local areas, as well as the Earls Rise development located in Steps, which is almost sold out. Cala has also been building homes in Kirkintilloch at its Weavers Brae development. This development features a range of 3, 4 and 5 bedroom homes. That report was by Kevin McRoberts.
CAB service continues in Bishopbriggs. Eastern Berkshire Citizens Advice Bureau is promising local people in Bishopbriggs that it will still be on hand to serve their needs despite the closure of its office on Emerson Road. The CAB office is now closed due to loss of project funding and increasing utility costs. However, the main CAB in Kirkintilloch remains open as usual, and the charity has set up outreach points in Bishopbriggs so that it is still available in the town 4 days a week. Eastern Berkshire CAB manager Catherine Bradley said, "We regret having to close our office in Bishopbriggs, but we simply can't continue to fund it due to the losses incurred from projects and increasing costs. However, we are determined that the people of Bishopbriggs won't see a break in their citizens' advice service, and we thank Bishopbriggs Hub and Auchterarn Community Centre for hosting us going forward. Our service there will remain free, confidential and impartial, just as it always has. In addition, people can come to our main office in 11 Alexandra Street, Kirkintilloch, or can access our support online at www.edcab.org or www.citizensadvice.org.uk/Scotland. It is also possible to make an appointment for Bishopbriggs by calling 0141 775 3220. The new location for CAB advice in Bishopbriggs are as follows: Bishopbriggs Hub and Library, Tuesday 9:30am to 3pm, Friday 9:30am to 1:30pm, Auchterarn Early Years and Community Centre, Wednesday 10am to 1pm, and Thursday 9:30am to 3pm.
Good day to you. It's Philip here with the church news from the Kirky Herald under the heading of the district news. First of all, we go to Kirkintilloch Church of God at Regent Hall, Regent Street on Sunday. There will be a short Bible message from Dr. Carol Smith at 11:30am. A warm welcome to everyone who is able to join us. On Wednesday this week is our Coffee Corner Harvest Special from noon till 2:30. Join us for lunch, followed by a seasonal programme, including a quiz, video presentations, and the guest speaker is Rodney Johnson. For up-to-date and further information on our services, visit our website on www.regenthall.org. The Bible says, "Let us not be weary in well-doing, for in the due season we shall reap if we faint not." That's found in Galatians. And now to Lenzie Old Parish Church. Sunday worship begins in the church at 11am. A creche is available for children under 3. Thursday afternoon club is not on Thursday, October the 10th. The next Thursday club will be on October the 24th at 2pm. Come and Sing, the Dementia Singing Group, meets in the hall on Tuesday, October the 14th from 1:15 to 2:45pm. A warm welcome awaits all, and of course, there's a cuppa with some delicious home baking. Oh, please feel free to come and sing. Scottish country dancing is on every Thursday evening, 7:30 to 9:30. Fun and fitness, no need to book, just come along. And back to Bishopbriggs now. St James Church, Hilton Road, Bishopbriggs, and the minister there is Paul Watson. The communion services in the chapel on Thursday, October the 10th is cancelled. There is a communion service in the chapel on Sunday, October the 13th at 9am and at 10:30am with hymns in the church. Harvest donations for the food bank can still be brought along to the church. Contact the office for a list of goods particularly needed at this time. Everyone is welcome to come along to any of these services. Do stay for tea, coffee and fellowship afterwards as well. The 10:30am Sunday service. There are also other virtual services and groups. For up-to-date information, refer to our social media. Facebook is St James LS Bishopbriggs, and our website is all the W's, stjamesbishopbriggs.org.uk. And now to Kenmure Parish Church. This Sunday we are looking forward to the return of Mr Isaac McCleary, reader in the Church of Scotland, to lead our morning worship. The service begins at 11am. Visitors to the area will be made welcome when they join us for our Sunday morning worship. You can attend either in person or online on our YouTube channel. The service on YouTube can be watched live as it is streamed or later at a time that suits you. You can find their channel by searching for Kenmure Bishopbriggs on YouTube. There will be a period of fellowship following the service in the hall where teas, coffees, juice and biscuits are served. Most of our organisation groups are up and running again after the summer break. The most up-to-date details of all our groups that are currently running may be found on the WhatsApp section of the website, which is kenmure-church.co.uk. To find us on Facebook, just search for Kenmure Parish Church. And if you'd like to join our WhatsApp group or receive Bible study information, then email kenmurechurch@icloud.com. St Mary's Parish Church. The service on Sunday, October the 13th, will begin at 11 a.m. as usual and will be led by the Reverend Dr. Ruth Morrison. This service is the annual Harvest Festival, when the congregation are requested to bring either money or produce, that is, such as tinned meat or fish or vegetables, also tea, sugar, coffee. No fresh produce, please. All of this will be passed on to the Eastern Batshire Food Bank, St Rollott's Community Outreach or Lodging House Mission. The service will be followed by the annual Harvest Lunch, which will consist of baked potatoes with a variety of fillings, followed by apple pie and ice cream. And on Saturday, October the 19th, we'll be holding our Games Day. There will be a variety of games available, suitable for all ages and the whole family. The church halls will be open from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. Stay for as long as you can or as long as you like. Refreshments will be available throughout the day with rolls and bacon, sausage, etc. being available at lunchtime. This should be a fun day for all the family. And back to Lenzie Union Parish Church. The Sunday service on October the 13th will be led by John Nicholson. A creche is provided for babies, toddlers, young people, and are also welcome to Lighthouse and Bible class for the youth. A live stream of the service will be available on YouTube. And also D Cafe is on Monday, October the 14th at 1:30 a.m. in the new hall. The D Cafe is a chance to talk with others, ask questions of our support worker Ryan from Sirtas. The cafe is open to everyone or anyone who is affected by dementia. Come along and enjoy the chat, plus refreshments and perhaps a bit of music. The meeting place opens for tea, coffee and home baking every Wednesday from 10 a.m. till noon in the new hall. Everyone from the very young to the young at heart is welcome to attend. We also have a good selection of greetings cards and second-hand books for sale. The Lenzie Bridge Club is on Wednesdays in the Old Hall at 1 p.m. till 3 p.m. Come and play this classic game. Stay Curious is an Alpha course. Alpha is a course where you can learn to explore the Christian faith together. In each session explores a big question of life, faith and purpose, starting in October, Wednesday afternoons from 1:30 in the new hall, and all are welcome. Video presentations, light refreshments and discussion. Contact Claire Robertson at alpha.lenzie@gmail.com or on our mobile 077-894-25547 for more details. The coffee pot opens on Fridays for tea, coffee, home baking, a warm, friendly atmosphere for all ages. Kirkintilloch Male Voice Choir have a concert in the church on October the 26th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are £8 each, or 2 for 15. They're a bargain. Includes a light supper supporting Crossroads and Lenzie Union Parish Church. Tickets available from LUPC, that's Lenzie Church Place, the meeting place or the coffee pot, and Andrew King Opticians. And now back to Bishopbriggs, Springfield, Cambridge Church. Morning service on October the 13th will be conducted by the Reverend Ian Taylor in the sanctuary at 11 a.m. An offering will be taken during the service. Please place your offering in the offering place as they are passed around the congregation. Tea and coffee will be served in the Cameron Hall. After morning worship, come and enjoy the fellowship. The Sunday school meets in room 2, where creche facilities are also available. Morning worship is also being live streamed on Springfield Cambridge Church YouTube channel. A link to this can be found on the Springfield Cambridge Church website, which is all the W's, springfieldcambridge.org.uk, and Facebook page, where up-to-date information about events and church organisations can also be found. And it's amazing that all the churches are now up to date, having websites, etc. And also just to say that there will be no vestry hour on Wednesday, October the 9th. There will be a short weekly service of worship in the Springfield Chapel on Wednesday, October the 9th from 11 a.m. to 11:30, followed by tea and coffee in the Hall of Fellowship. The Guild is inviting the congregation to join them in supporting the Eastern Batshire Food Bank warehouse by bringing donations and leaving them in the cupboard in the cloakroom. and there'll be a list there of all the current information, current items that are specially requested. And also the ticket office is open for the Springfield Cambridge Festival Chorus Christmas concert at Cadder South Hall on Wednesdays and Fridays between 10 and noon. So there you go. So interesting stuff happening there in Bishopbriggs. And I'm now going to move to Home Church in Kirkintilloch. Worship service on Sundays at 9:30am and 11:30am, followed by refreshments. A warm welcome awaits you at either service. Children's Sunday school at both services in creche, and Home Church in Carmyle, 10am and 6:30pm. Home radio is available every day. And if you want to listen to my dulcet tones, I'm on Monday nights between 8 and 9. And the church is located on Lammermuir Road, across from Oxgan Primary School in Kirkintilloch. Parking is available in Oxgan Primary School car park on Sundays, and a parking ride is available from Woodlands View School car park from 11am till 11:30am. And after the service, Woodland View is also only 10 minutes walk from the church. See Facebook, Instagram and Home Church website for the latest information. So there you have it. Amazing stuff happening there in Home Church, there in Kirkintilloch. And now to Torrance Parish Church. The morning service in person is at 10:30am, conducted by the Reverend Stuart Irwin. During the service, the youngsters meet together in creche, junior church and frog, which is, if I remember correctly, Friends of God or something like that. But it's a youth event. And you can check out all the other information on their website, torranceparishchurch.online.church. The cafe is open every Wednesday, 9am to noon, for teas, coffee, delicious home baking. Why not come and taste for yourself? The Boys Brigade meet on Wednesdays, 7 till 9pm, P7 to S6. Thursdays, October the 10th, men's breakfast is at 7am. On Wednesday, October the 16th, prayer meetings at 9:15 on Zoom and 7:30 in person. Visit our website to find out more activities at Torrance Parish Church. So there you have it, a lot of good stuff happening there. And let's not forget the St Columba's Men's Club. If winter comes, can spring be far behind? So asked John Keats in his ode to autumn. Well, winter is certainly on its way now, after a truly miserable summer. I don't think it was miserable. It's just summer was interspersed by a few cold days and a few showers. Let's put it that way. However, it's an easy way to enjoy yourself. As envisaged by Keats, the men's club may be an answer. Yes, maybe an answer is this autumn time at 7:30pm every Monday from October the 7th. Is at St Columba's Men's Club. They meet in the Church Hall in Old Isle Road, Kirkintilloch, and offers a very warm welcome, together with the chance to play a bit of pool, snooker, dominoes, or even some table tennis for the more sprightly amongst us. And if none of these appeal to you, how about a cup of tea or coffee and a chat? Our members come not only from Kirkintilloch, but also from Lenzie, Cumbernauld, Milton-Campsie and Bearstend. And if you think this may be for you and want more details, contact Ian Gibb on 01417765453 or Jim Kennedy on 07767124416. So there you have it. That's your church news for this week. And it's now getting into October, and hopefully you're all keeping well. And if you've any comments or anything you want me to include in the church news, just do contact us at Q Review. Well, have a good week and a good weekend. God bless you. Take care. Bye.
Wednesday the 9th of October. District News General. Pause for an evening with Harley. Dogs Trust West Calder is inviting you to an exclusive series of Pause for an Evening with events where the stars of the show are not actors or TV personalities but fabulous poochies. These dogs will dazzle you with their charm and charisma as they take centre stage for the night, so you can hear everything about them as they patiently await their forever home. Pause for an Evening with Harley will take place on Tuesday, October 15th between 6 and 7pm at Dogs Trust West Calder. Taking centre stage for his moment in the spotlight is Harley, who is a 1-year-old Great Dane crossbreed with a heart as big as his size. If you could provide a home for Harley, or any of the 40 dogs, call us on 01506 873 459. Westminster Voice. Education should be a priority. Susan Murray MP. The UK government faces financial difficulties. The mess it was left in by their predecessors has forced them some difficult choices. The books have rarely been so unbalanced, but it is important not to make things worse for families in Mid-Dumbartonshire, which I fear their policy of adding 20% VAT to independent school fees will do. As a matter of principle, I am against taxing education. Learning should not come with an additional burden, no matter what sector provides it. But it also makes little practical sense for Mid-Dumbartonshire, which will always be my priority. Our local authority schools are well known for the high quality of education they provide, and rightly so. According to a recent FOI, they're also either at, over or near capacity. At time of writing, Bishopbriggs Academy has 155 more pupils than it has places for, and Bearsden Academy is over by 27 pupils. Adding VAT to school fees will push those for whom their kids' fees are a significant expense to leave the private sector and enrol them in local state schools. This will, inevitably, put additional, intolerable strain on our already stretched school sector, which will struggle to cope with the influx. There's also the issue of timing. The UK government has said it wants to start charging VAT in school fees from the 1st of January. That is far too soon and will not give parents and schools enough time to plan for the consequences. If the government insists on pushing ahead with this policy, as they seem to be, then two actions must be taken. Firstly, it must be delayed. New Year's Day is far nearer than the government seems to realise, and parents, schools and families need time. Secondly, the Scottish Government should ensure that any money raised in Mid-Dumbartonshire is spent here on expanding school places. Both the Scottish and UK governments have difficult choices to make, but it must not take them at the expense of the next generation. That would not be the change anyone needs. Contact: Susan Murray is a Liberal Democrat MP for Mid-Dumbartonshire. Email: susan.murray.mp@parliament.uk. That's susan.murray@parliament.uk. Antiquaries Society. The Antiquaries held their first meeting of 2024-25 on October the 3rd in the Park Centre. We heard a lively and well-researched presentation by Brian Young on the roaming campaigns in Scotland. Brian is an electrical engineer based in Cumbernauld, currently working in AI and digital generated solutions for medical testing. He has always had a keen interest in history, particularly tactics and strategy used in warfare, and has written a book about the Lost Legion. He's also a sculptor, and brought along a bust he had made of the Emperor Antonius Pius. Other props included a replica shield, sword, eagle, and a red legionnaires cloak, which Brian used to illustrate how the Roman army worked and why they were so successful in battle despite usually being outnumbered. The first campaign in Scotland was from AD 80 to 84, led by experienced General Agricola. They encountered no resistance until the edge of the Highlands, where they were attacked by the Caledonians. Agricola defeated the Caledonians at the Battle of Mons Grepius, but was then recalled to Rome and the legions retreated to Newcastle. The Emperor Hadrian then built a wall across northern England, but Scotland was not invaded until the time of Antonius Pius in about 140 AD, when the Antonine Wall was built. However, this was abandoned after about 20 years, and thereafter Hadrian's Wall was the northern limit of territory permanently occupied by the Romans. The final campaign was from AD 208 to 211, when the Emperor Septimus Severus sent a vast army north in response to raids by the Caledonians and inflicted massive slaughter on the natives. Britannia, and particularly Scotland, seemed to have been a particularly troublesome province, with about 12% of Roman troops stationed there, although it accounted for only 4% of the territory. Brian's talk was greatly appreciated by an enthusiastic audience of over 50 and was followed by a lively question and answer session. Horticultural Society. At the beginning of September, Kirkintilloch Horticultural Society held a successful flower show in St Mary's Church Hall, this year in association with Glasgow and District Fuchsia Society. Held on a sunny day, this event had a good number of exhibits, with a tombola and popular tea room adding to the enjoyment of those attending. Our next meeting will take place in Enterprise House on Thursday, October 17th, from 7:30pm to 9:30pm, when our speaker will be David Menzies, who will talk about the RHS Chelsea flower shows held between 2006 to 2024. David is internationally renowned for his knowledge and expertise in orchid cultivation, and has held positions at Kew Gardens as well as Glasgow Botanical Gardens during his working career. Potential new members are welcome to turn up in the night or to contact Paul Malcolm on 0141 578 1520 in advance. They can also visit our website www.kirkintillochhorty.org.uk. That's KIRKINTILLOCHHORTI.org.uk. Wednesday the 9th of October. Public notices. East Dunbartonshire Council public notices. Civic Government Scotland Act 1982. Application for renewal of second-hand vehicle dealer licence. The under-noted has applied for the renewal of a second-hand vehicle dealer licence in terms of the above Act. Name and address of applicant: Stephen Fraser, 18 Kirkstall Gardens, Bishopbriggs, G64 3JQ. Day-to-day manager: Stephen Fraser. Premises: Lindsay Trade Centre, Unit 8, Old Mill Park Industrial Estate, Kirkintilloch, G66 1SS. Hours of business: Monday to Sunday, 9am to 6pm. Any objections or representations in terms of paragraph 3 (1) of Schedule 1 of the Act should be lodged with the under-noted no later than 28 days from the publication date of the newspaper in which this advertisement appears. Chief Solicitor and Monitoring Officer, Legal and Regularity Services, East Dunbartonshire Council, 12 Strathkelvin Place, Kirkintilloch, G66 1TJ. Email: civic.licensing@eastdunbarton.gov.uk. Sport. Reese is inspiring. Report by Kevin McRoberts. A champion boxer has been promoting the benefits of young people getting involved in sport. Commonwealth Games gold medal winner Reese Lynch, of Barmulloch's Rob Roy Boxing Club, joined over 100 young people and their mentors from local secondary schools across central Scotland who came together in Dunfermline for the 2024 Young Ambassador Conferences. The Young Ambassadors is a National Lottery funded programme and a key element of the Sport Scotland's contribution to developing young people as leaders in sport. The conferences play a key role in providing young people with the skills, knowledge and understanding required to undertake the role of promoting and inspiring other young people to get involved in sport within their schools and communities. One of the highlights of the conferences is the involvement of well-known Scottish athletes from across different sports, with Reece sharing a bit about his sporting journey. He also shared some inspiring stories with a group of young ambassadors and helped them prepare for their time as role models within their schools. Speaking about his day spent with the young ambassadors, Reece Lynch said, "I've really enjoyed it and it's been really rewarding to get the opportunity to do something like this. My highlight of the day was getting to watch all the kids getting involved in some of the boxing demo activity I showed them. Having this kind of opportunity is very important. I love sports in school, and having someone that's encouraging people to get involved and giving them more opportunities to actually do their sport at school will be a big help. Since the programme started in 2012, there have been over 7,000 young ambassadors across schools in Scotland, and each year, around 650 new young ambassadors have the opportunity to attend one of the national conferences in order to provide an understanding of the role. Forbes Dunlop, Chief Executive of Sport Scotland, said, "We encourage our young ambassadors to motivate others to get into sport, helping shape decisions to ensure youngsters have the best possible sporting experience across Scotland." And that report was by Kevin McRoberts. Football. Fine win for City ahead of Rangers game at Ibrox. Report by Kevin McRoberts. Glasgow City continued their winning run with a fine performance against Aberdeen as a double from Emily Whelan set Leanne Ross and her side on their way to a 5-0 victory at the Balmoral Stadium. There were 2 changes from the side that secured the Sky Sports Cup quarter-final spot last weekend, with Ava Easton and Chloe Warrington coming into the starting lineup for Lee Gibson and Amy Muir, while Katie Lockwood made her return to the bench after injury. In a game the visitors would dominate, City would open the scoring with 17 minutes in the clock as Whelan finished off a superb piece of patient front-to-back attacking play that involved nearly every player. That dominance would continue, and a second would come in the 33rd minute as the always busy Ailey Gambon broke into the box to drive home her second goal of the season. It was 3 not long after, as Whelan's movement allowed the Irish international to add a third as the game headed towards half-time. Claire Walsh and Mairead Fulton would enter the game as they continued to build minutes after injury, but it was Chloe Warrington who would be next on the score sheet, driving home from the edge of the area to score her first goal for the club. It would be another first with 11 minutes left to play as Mairead Fulton burst into the box, smashing a driven effort past the outstretched arm of Megan Sidey to score her first of the season, the Dons keeper having already made a number of good saves. City continued to press for a 6, with substitute Lockwood coming closest, but the scoring would finish at 5 as momentum continues heading into Saturday's match against Rangers at Ibrox. Glasgow City. Easton, Warrington, Lovera, substituted for Kozlova. Whelan, Forsblom, substituted for Lockwood. Anderson, substituted for Fulton. Gambon, Evans, Smith, substituted for Walsh. Van Diemen, Forrest, substituted for Foley. Subs not used: Gibson, Muir, Mata, Martin. In recognition of Glasgow City's inclusion in AFCA 25, the club were invited to the Royal Hospital for Children in Glasgow to help children on the ward test out the latest edition of the long-established gaming franchise. Lee Gibson, Hayley Lauder, Amy Muir, Fiona Brown and Katie Lockwood all took part in the visit, with the players spending the morning visiting children across the wards, delivering scarves, signing autographs and, of course, playing the game. They also helped patients to create their own bespoke Ultimate Team cards. Stephen Mayer, the Royal Hospital for Children's Gamer in Residence, who facilitated the visit, said, "It has been a fantastic visit, and my hope is that everyone who came along enjoyed it as much as we and the children did." As a club, Glasgow City were delighted to play a small part in helping patients and staff get their first taste of the game, and look forward to seeing the side represented on consoles across the globe for the season to come. Glasgow City are the sole Scottish women's football side in EFC 25, having previously featured in the 2024 version of the game. And that article was written by Kevin McRoberts. Junior football. Ashfield and West Park United make progress in the Cup. This article is unattributed. Ashfield and West Park United are both looking for extended cup runs after progressing to the second round of the Indigo Comms West of Scotland Cup, following victories in their ties on Saturday. Ashfield eliminated Neilston from the competition, but it was a closely contested encounter, with the two sides eventually separated following a penalty shootout. The match ended in a 2-2 draw, but Ashfield progressed thanks to their 6-5 win and spot kicks. It was more straightforward for West Park United, who secured their place in the next round with a 5-2 win over Campbelltown Pupils. Caledonian Locomotives, however, were knocked out of the same competition in the first round, losing 2-1 at home against East Kilbride Thistle. And Rossvale exited the competition in the second round, losing their tie 4-0 at home against Kilbirnie Ladeside. Petershill were defeated 2-1 at home by St Roch's in their Green Varsity First Division clash. This Saturday, October 12th, Petershill and Caledonian Locomotives are both in action in the third round of the Scottish Junior Cup. Petershill welcomed Tranent to Petershill Park for what will be the first meeting between the two sides, with the match kicking off at 2:30pm. Locomotives, meanwhile, make the trip to Largs Thistle's Barfield Stadium again for a 2:30pm kickoff. These sides have not met previously either. There's also a first competitive meeting between Kirkintilloch Rob Roy and Whitehill Welfare, scheduled to take place this Saturday in the South Region Challenge Cup, third round. That match kicks off at 2pm at the Kirkintilloch Sports Complex. Ashfield travel to Maybole Juniors in the Green Varsity First Division, with the match kicking off at 2pm at Ladybell Stadium. Rossvale travel to Eastwood Park for their first meeting against Giffnock in the Green Varsity First Division, kicking off at 2pm. And in the same division, West Park United and BSC Glasgow are set to battle it out at Hunters Hill, again with a 2pm kickoff. West Park United have won both the previous two meetings between the two sides. And that report was unattributed, and it was read by me, Ian.
That concludes this week's edition of the Kirkintilloch Herald podcast. Please remember to subscribe to our channels at Tune Review and to tell your friends about our service.